having Cugino's Italian Deli and Pizza. I got my favorite sandwich from there, and I also got their 10-inch white pizza. Oh, can I open it? Can I open it? Not very easily. Eep, eep, eep. It's coming. It's a coming. There we go. There we go. So I got my favorite Italian deli sandwich, and I also got a large order of wedge fries, which I really enjoy. Hopefully they gave me my ranch. Yes, they did. I ordered 2 ranch. That looks good. That's my sandwich. Alright. Let me see how I'm going to set this up. Okay, I'm just going to set it up and be right back. Pause. Okay. Got it all set up the best I can. So wedge fries are nice and hot. I've got ranch dip. Well, it's just ranch dressing, but I'm using it as a dip. Napoli does a really good ranch. Oh, their wedge fries are so good. This isn't Napoli, this is Cugino's. Napoli also does a really good ranch, though. No. Alright, my pizza. I got the white pizza, and I had them put fresh garlic on it and meatballs. Meatballs. I just bit into some ricotta. And of course I also got extra cheese. Yum. That's good. Cugino's is my second favorite Italian place. Oh my God. That is so creamy. Definitely a favorite. Oh, garlic. There's like chunky garlic. Ooh, excuse me. Coca-Cola, 0 sugar. It's definitely better than Diet Coke, in my opinion. Oh my God. Alright. It's my favorite thing. This is the Italian #1. And it's got mortadella instead of the capicola. Lettuce. Tomato. Very thinly sliced red onion. So it's not too overpowering. It's very light. And then they have, of course, the oil and vinegar combo. Ham. And provolone cheese. Salami. Oh, yes. Okay. This is the closest I can get to the Italian sandwich that my mama used to make for me without having to make it for myself. The only difference is the lettuce. And they don't sprinkle Italian seasoning. That is so good. Their crust is fabulous. Oh man. Oh yeah. So I hope everybody's having a nice weekend. This should be going up on Saturday. Today's Friday. Ooh. Ooh, excuse me. So my weekend is just getting started. I don't have any plans until Sunday. Man, all three of these items are so delicious. I just, I can't even order from Cugino's without getting their wedge fries. One thing I normally get that I did not was their tiramisu. I have 3 of their little glass bowls so far, so I should have gotten one more to make a set of 4, but I was like, next time. I was like, I had quite enough food, I didn't need dessert. Damn, that's good pizza. A white pizza is just my favorite. I don't need all that red sauce. No red sauce. Almost always gives me a little bit of heartburn. Even though I love it. Oh my God. And their pizzas come in 10-inch and 16-inch. I wouldn't have minded having leftover pizza, but even with the 10-inch, I'm going to have some leftover. Because, of course, I got the sandwich and the wedge fries. So I was like, no candy, just 10 inches is plenty. Mmm. Oh my God. Mm. Oh. Mm. Oh. Oh, y'all. I have been just, I don't know. I haven't been up to anything. Just trying to get through the days, I think. I don't know what that's about. Excuse me. I mean, I usually say, you know, it's just one day at a time. But here lately I've been finding that the days bleed into night. Night bleeds into day. I don't really accomplish much of anything. Not really. I don't know if that's like depression or I don't feel depressed, but you know, of course I suffer from depression. But it's like I don't feel like anything is bothering me. You know, other than like my difficulty sleeping. I take melatonin. But my sleep is still very like interrupted at night. From things like a leaky CPAP mask, you know, and that will, you know, that'll cause me to wake up. Or just having to pee. Or just kind of waking up because of the CPAP mask and then not being able to go back to sleep because, oh hell, I've got to get up and go pee. But, you know, that's normal for a lot of people my age. Oh my goodness. This is so good. I don't normally add the meatballs, but they're good. They're a good addition. Man. I love the way the ricotta is not just dolloped from one place to another. It kind of, it's like spread out under the layer of mozzarella. So I'm getting ricotta and mozzarella in every bite. And it is so creamy and delicious. And the extra garlic is like, oh. Man. What is that guy? Dom Draper, I think. It's a fella that claims to be a vampire. On TikTok and different places. Yeah, there's a whole thing. And he's kind of convincing at times. And he makes his fangs come out. But anyway, he said that a lot of the vampire lore is like misconceptions, and have actually been spread around by vampires. Garlic, it's not a thing. Garlic and vampires, not a thing. So you got all these people like eating tons of garlic to protect themselves from vampires, and basically they're just seasoning themselves. And that's no lie. That is so true, because when you chop garlic, that garlic stays on your fingers. It's like it is on there. Same thing with onions. It's like we can be marinated. We can be marinated and seasoned very well. Onions and garlic. Oh my God. I mean, y'all know that's the kind of jokes I like, because I have a very twisted sense of humor. In today's climate, joking about seasoning people is probably not a good idea. But I also make this joke about fat people. It's like I claim, you know, that I'm like the Kobe beef of human, you know, nice and fatty. Oh God, stop, Candy. Ew. Okay. Let's pick a better topic. But I just thought that was interesting. About garlic in the vampire lore. It just popped in my head. Oh, excuse me. I know I'm such a weirdo. And I've had my head in them files, like, you know which ones. Way too deep. Way too deep. And it's like, whoa, that's some scary stuff. So I started watching the new season of Outlander. I think I mentioned that in a video previously. Still watching Survivor. Not giving any spoilers. I almost did a video today based on Survivor, and I rethought. I was like, oh hell, I'd be giving away a spoiler for the most recent episode. I mean, if y'all have already watched the most recent episode, y'all might know which place I would have ordered from. But I was like, no, let me not ruin the episode for anybody. So I just ordered my next thing on the list. Man, I'm already getting full. Excuse me. 2 pieces of pizza and not even a half a sandwich yet. Oh. Getting full, not full. I'm like, if you're full, why don't you stop? Because I'm not full yet. When I get full, I will stop. Because I won't be able to eat anymore. Mmm. Mmm. That stuff's starting to get cold. Mmm. Still yummy, but cooling rapidly. Mmm. Mmm. Oh, man. I started rewatching Lovecraft Country. Again, I've been watching those files a little bit much. And the rich people, the rich white people in Lovecraft Country kind of remind me of some of the crap that kind of is in the files. I also just finished the movie Ready or Not. Again, bunch of rich white people doing nefarious things. Lord. It's scary. It's scary out there. I mean, you know, people like me don't have to worry about stuff like that because I'm not really on anybody's radar. Even as a kid. I feel like at one point there was potential for me to be snatched. Probably a lot of potential. You know, because I was basically a free range kid. If y'all don't know what that is, it's kind of like, well, I'm a Gen Xer, okay? And if any of y'all have watched Stranger Things, y'all have seen these grade school kids just out all hours of the day and night, just riding their bikes and just saving the world, you know, like. So when I was a kid, that was me. I was out on my bike riding and, you know, just out doing whatever. Excuse me. And I just had to be home by sundown. And if I wasn't home by sundown, my granddaddy would whistle for me, excuse me, to come home. And if I was too far out to hear the whistle, he would blow the foghorn. And if y'all have ever heard a foghorn, that's pretty loud. I want to blow my nose, but I'm like, I don't want to pause right now. So basically, especially on the weekend, from the time the sun came up to the time the sun went down, I was out running the roads, you know, doing crazy stuff in crazy places. Could have died so many times. We were ditching the black vans that ran around in the neighborhoods. You know, there were stories like, don't get anywhere near the van. And it's like, I joke and say that I was the type of kid that would have gotten in the van. But I wouldn't. You know, I had a higher survival instinct back then. Like the way I treat my body now, you wouldn't think that. But I knew when to run. I knew when to run. You know, some man out in the woods, you know, doing things and saying, hey, little girl, come here, little girl, kind of stuff. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Woo. My little fat tail would run so fast. I wasn't much of a runner either, but I would book it out of there. And as a teenager, I was asking for trouble. Because I would sneak out a lot. Like in the middle of the night. Sometimes I would make it back before dawn. Sometimes I wouldn't. There were times when I was gone for days. And my poor grandparents, they didn't know where the hell I was, if I was alive or dead. They had no idea. I was awful. I know I aged them poor people. But I always made it home. Unless we had gotten into some kind of big argument, me and my granddaddy, we were always butting heads. You know, I was way too much like him mentally, and I just thought I knew it all. I knew it all. But no, I didn't. I did not. So yeah, I could have gotten snatched. Oh. Even me and Susan were talking the other day, you know, about how many times something really, really bad could have happened to me growing up. And Susan was like, you know, you've got people looking out for you. You got something looking out for you. And I was like, yeah, I know. Because there's been so many times. Yeah, divinely protected, maybe I should say. I mean, I've heard them words to describe me before. But that's no joke. That's no joke. A story I don't know if I've mentioned to you guys. My ex-husband and I read. We moved to Georgia for a year. I had bought a little travel trailer. It was an RV, but it was a park model RV. It was about a 40-foot. It had a pop out in the front and had a pop out in the back. Had a queen size bed. My son, he was about 1.5, I guess, almost about 2. And my daughter, she was not even 1 year old yet. They were little. And anyway, I had a big F-350 Ford pickup truck. It was huge. And it had a king cab for the car seats in the back. And and I'm short. That was it had a roll bar on the top with lights and everything. I mean, this was the most redneck truck you could ever see in your life. Anyway, he and I took turns driving all the way from Louisiana to Georgia. And we drove straight through all the way. And when we got there to the travel trailer that was parked in a KOA campground, that's where we lived for a whole year before taking our last like $1,500, because I had gotten that was part of my my inheritance when my grandfather passed. And you know, so I was trying to get relocated. closer to where I still have a little bit of family. Anyway, when we got there, we pulled up to the campground. You know, we were fine. We got there. We packed it in for the night. The next day, Red is out there, you know, doing whatever. I mean, I guess like finishing unpacking or whatever. And he hollers at me to come out there. And I come out there and look. And he has already, he's jacked up the truck. And he wanted to show me one of the wheels. Not just the tire, but one of the wheels. You know how they got the lug nuts or whatever? The metal around each of the lug nuts had worn out to where it was like open, and then the nut was like in the middle. The wheel fell off. When he jacked it up, the whole wheel fell off. Oh, that's Susan. But yeah, whoo. So I don't know when that happened or how far into our trip, excuse me, that it had worn away. But for the last however many miles, that wheel was just holding on. I don't know what was keeping it on the truck. It could have just flown off, you know, because literally he had jacked it up and the thing fell off. And he stuck it back on, and it's like, how? So I have forever thought that basically an angel held that tire in place until we got there safely. I mean, and it's not unusual, you know, because as many times as I snuck out in the middle of the night, ended up out in the woods or in the cemeteries or in abandoned like baseball fields doing Lord knows what in the middle of the night, you know. And I mean, there's been some things happen, you know. I mean, I had been snatched up at least once for a few days, you know, and kind of just had to do whatever so that I could get home safely. But yeah, me and Susan were, she felt me talking about her. And I'm done eating. Oh my God. I done got on this subject this deep. It's like, woo. I will eat all this eventually. I'll eat another piece of pizza and I'll probably finish my sandwich, but I'll put the leftover pizza in the fridge. Be a half a little pizza. That'll be a nice little lunch tomorrow. But anyway, she and I were talking, and I even said, it's like I could have been buried in the woods 100 times over. 100 times over. You know, as a little girl and as a teenager, I have been divinely protected. So, plus I was fat. So, whatever powers that be kind of passed me by, you know, as far as being like easy pickings, you know the joke, you know, fat people are harder to kidnap. So eat more cake. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. I got a little dark, a little weird, but it's a story time. That's why I don't do a lot of story times, because my story times are, yeah, they're a little bit, they can get a little bit weird. But anyway, I love you guys very much. Stay safe out there. Beware of white witch people. But I love you very much, and I will see you next time. Mwah. Bye now. You know, it's not just white rich people, it's just rich people. Because they got some shady shit going on. Yeah, yeah, the world is shady. Just be safe out there, that's all. Anyway, love you, bye.